It's a meme at this point. Disney has released over a dozen of their first gay characters, which is obviously just rainbow marketing. And it's always just one or two scenes that are easy to remove for their overseas audiences, which makes it even more insulting when Disney either cancels or doesn't advertise properties that have genuine LGBTQ representation. They're not even trying to hide it at this point. Strange World got so little advertising that people didn't even know this movie was released in theaters. But what if I told you that these recent trends are only scratching the surface of the problem? Because back in 1997, Disney had not only their first openly gay character, but their first openly gay main character in any of their properties. And they are desperately trying to get people to forget about it.
I'm gay.
Meet Ellen Morgan, the lead character from the hit 1994 sitcom Ellen. She's played by Ellen DeGeneres before she went on to star in her other sitcom, The Ellen Show, and her hit daytime talk show, The Ellen DeGeneres Show. The original 1994 Ellen was produced by Touchstone Television and distributed by Buena Vista, two companies created and owned by Disney. And if you want to watch the show today, you can find it over on Disney+. This show is clearly a Disney property, and that makes Ellen Morgan Disney's real first openly gay character. And what you just watched is one of the most important coming out scenes in TV history. With 42 million viewers at its debut, this episode sparked a massive conversation about representation in media, and paved the way for much of the LGBTQ representation that we see today. No matter what you think of DeGeneres as a person, there's no denying the importance of this show and the character that she portrayed. And while this moment was a huge milestone, I love that it's not how the series ended. The show took another full season to explore Ellen Morgan's new life being openly gay. She comes out to friends and family, and forms a relationship with someone she truly cares about. Then there's the series finale, which, in my opinion, is definitely up there with the puppy episode. Ellen's girlfriend doesn't want to get married or have a wedding because it feels meaningless to her. After all, what's the point of a celebration of love if their union can't be officially recognized? But even though the two can't legally get married, they make a promise to love each other just the same, and they form a union that means something to them. Where Ellen's coming out scene was about progress, this scene was about making the most of a tough reality. But the message here is hopeful. They talk about how they'll have that wedding one day when their love can be treated equally, and it's nice to think that they eventually could. It's just a beautiful moment and a perfect note for a show like this to end on. But there's a good chance you've never heard of this scene. You may have seen Ellen's coming out moment, but everything after that, for lack of a better word, has been buried. And that's because Ellen Morgan was Disney's first gay character.
Good for you. You're gay. So what are you going to do now?
I'm going to Disneyland.
One of the biggest bits of the show was that the character Ellen was implied to be a closeted gay. And I say implied in the loosest way possible.
Ellen, where are you? I was in the closet.
It wasn't rare to see other shows at this time play with the idea of homosexuality, so long as it stayed within the realm of comedy, the absurd. Because if a character genuinely came out as gay, then it wasn't a joke anymore. It was real.
You can't just have genuine feelings and hold someone's hand. Then you get a disclaimer. But if you want to kiss a guy on the lips and wrap your leg around him and make fun of it, we're going to advertise the hell out of that.
What made the original Ellen sitcom unique was that they were clearly setting up a scene where she could officially come out to the world. And when the team behind the show brought this up to executives, they had a massive issue with it. ABC executives fought hard to stop this scene from airing. Famously, they said Ellen Morgan could do anything, even get a puppy, just so long as she didn't come out. Yet despite all efforts to dissuade the team, the now famous puppy episode managed to air, and it was clear that Disney and ABC wanted to cancel Ellen. Then president of ABC, Bob Iger, openly admitted that the network was taking a financial loss from airing the show. It didn't matter that people wanted to watch it, because businesses wanted to pull their ads from the show. But they faced a massive obstacle. There was a wave of positive media coverage and fan support following Ellen's coming out scene, and there was no way Disney could cancel the show without looking openly homophobic. But the company came up with a plan. Cut virtually all advertising for the show, give it a later time slot, add parental warnings on episodes with gay themes, praise the show while doing all this crap.
I was actually sorry to see the show go because I thought it was a good program.
Then cite the bad ratings as the reason for canceling it. And it worked. While other sitcoms on ABC at that time got 7 to 9 seasons, Ellen ended at a measly 5. And it wasn't exactly a secret what the company was doing either. Ellen DeGeneres even called out this shady business practice in an interview.
I love someone, and because of who I choose to love, I get a warning label.
Ellen Morgan's coming out scene isn't a moment of triumph for Disney. They were clearly the bad guys in this story. So the company decided that the best thing to do was distance themselves from the show. I wasn't being completely honest before. You can watch the 1994 Ellen show on Disney+, but only if you live in Australia or Canada. It's as if Disney doesn't want anyone but already progressive countries to have access to the show. And this is further supported by how the show was taken off Hulu shortly after Disney acquired the streaming service. Because other than that, you can only watch the show on non-Disney platforms, like Amazon Prime, Vudu, and Apple TV. While it is true that not every Touchstone television show made it to Disney+, this seems like an unusual omission. The show was popular, it was groundbreaking, it would look great on marketing for Pride Month, and it starred an actress that Disney still has good relations with.
And wanting to basically give you the ability to do that.
Yes, and thank you for allowing me to do that on television. I think that it was, I appreciate it.
Disney has created some of the most historic moments in film and TV, but it was a shock to learn that they made this important moment in LGBTQ representation possible. And that's kind of the point. They don't want to take credit for this, because if people found out about this connection, they might start talking about how these practices haven't really gone away. Queer is okay when it's comedic, but not when it's sincere. And Disney gives projects with genuine representation no marketing, so they can cite bad ratings as the reason to omit them in the future. Nothing's really changed in the past quarter of a century since this episode aired, which is why Disney is trying to bury their connection with this show. And so far, the distancing strategy has been a success for them. Nobody ever says this is a Disney show. Articles that list all the first gay characters from Disney never mention Ellen Morgan, even in LGBTQ magazines like Out, or wiki pages that claim to list every LGBTQ character from Disney. Instead, Disney gets to have their cake and eat it too. This coming out scene can still be left as a historic moment in television, while Disney can avoid their involvement with it. They can keep using the word first for marketing, while they suppress genuine representation. And you know what? That needs to change. The next time Disney tries to give us another first gay character, we need to have a talk about Ellen Morgan. They can't be allowed to get away with pretending to make milestones while covering up a piece of genuine history that makes them look bad. It's Disney's turn to come out. Thank you for listening. Goodbye.